We're disappointed. We were looking forward to giving the Vice President an enthusiastic welcome. Yeah, we're not used to this. We don't know how to handle it. This hasn't happened in 40 years since Walter Mondale turned down the invitation. And remember, he lost 49 out of 50 states.
Oh, no, sorry. Boy, Cardinal, His Eminence, Cardinal Dolan. Joining us now is Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, great friend, Fox News contributor. I may sneeze from allergies in the middle of this segment. Newt, welcome back. You and Ambassador Callista. I mean, I think there's a problem here with some anti-Catholic bias, okay, in the Kamala Harris decision not to go to the Al Smith dinner. It's for Catholic charities. As you heard His Eminence say, this hasn't happened in 40 years. That was Walter Mondale. He lost 49 states. I just want to get your take on this. I want to get to fracking and some other things with you. But I just don't want to let this go by because I think this is a big event. And I think it's an event that's really going to hurt the Vice President.
Let me say, first of all, that Callista and I both really like Cardinal Dolan and have always enjoyed visiting with him. And he's got quite a sense of humor. And I'm not surprised that he took a little swing there. Mm-hmm. The truth is that I think she's afraid to go to the Al Smith dinner. She's the most anti-Catholic presidential candidate since James G. Blaine in 1880. Oh. And all of the anti-Catholic laws passed in that era were called Blaine laws. So you can imagine how strongly he was. Look, when she was a senator, she's interviewing in public, in a senatorial hearing, nominees who are Catholic, and she says, you know, you belong to the Knights of Columbus. Well, the Knights of Columbus is over 2 million people, voluntarily get involved, you know, have pancakes on Saturday morning, raise money for charity. The idea that there was somehow something mysterious about this whole Catholic thing, you could tell that she has an edge. Many people on the left dislike the Catholic Church because it is a bulwark of belief in right to life. It's a bulwark of belief in God, and it's a bulwark of belief that, in fact, our job is to try to understand what God wants us to do, not try to become gods of our own. So there's a huge underlying hostility between the left and organized religion. By the way, her vice presidential candidate as governor closed every single church in Minnesota during COVID, but allowed the Mall of the Americas to stay open so you could have retail therapy.
Right.
Now, right. I mean, I don't know how much more anti-religious you could be than Tim Walz.
You know, the other thing is, look, Donald Trump put out a flyer on this, obviously, but the Biden-Harris administration took after the Little Sisters of the Poor. They took on Easter, they declared Transgender Day of Visibility. I mean, I don't want to get into Transgender Day, good or bad, okay? But on Easter, which is the holiest Christian day of the year, in effect, that was really a slap in the face. Of all tradition, I mean, you're right. You know, it's a God of your choosing. It's a higher power. Why? The left seems to always be completely opposed to that. And I had Vivek Ramaswamy on yesterday talking about this very subject. How can you envision a world? How can you envision an America that has no higher power, that has no God of your choosing, that has no religious or spiritual concepts and values? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and remember, as you know, Kudlow was the ambassador to the Vatican, and she refused to put up the gay pride flag on the grounds that it's a direct insult to the Vatican and to the beliefs of the Pope. The minute we left and the minute Biden took over, they put up the gay pride flag. I mean, this necessity to insult you, to go into your space, to make you submit to whatever their latest wacky idea is. And I'll guarantee you that both Tim Walz and Kamala Harris have a deep instinct for making the rest of us subordinate to their weird ideas.
I know you wrote a good piece on Harris's bait and switch on fracking. I mean, really, Newt, on this whole subject of fracking, I mean, you don't have to be for a ban on fracking. If you're running Green New Deal type policies, you want to end natural gas, you want to end gas-powered stoves, you want to end gasoline-powered cars. I mean, de facto, that's a ban on fracking, isn't it?
Look, Obama really gave them the secret formula when he spoke to the San Francisco Chronicle in 2008, and he said, "Oh, you can open up a coal mine. It's just under my administration you'll go bankrupt." What they're basically saying is, in every method they can, they're eliminating natural gas. As you know, they tried to outlaw even having a gas stove. If there's no market, you're not going to get any. So they don't have to ban it. They just make it impossible financially. Now, this really matters in Pennsylvania because 2 of the 4 largest natural gas deposits in the entire world are in western Pennsylvania. They represent billions and billions of dollars of asset. People make money off of royalties. They make money off of jobs. And remember, natural gas is dramatically less expensive as a way of creating electricity, and also does less damage to the environment. And we're going to have, with the rise of artificial intelligence, we're going to have an enormous requirement for far more electricity than we've ever had before. Nobody on the left is looking at this, and if they have their policies, they will lead us into a crisis within 4 or 5 years in which we will not be able to produce the kind of electricity you need in order to sustain the scale of computing that the modern world is going to require.
Yes, sir. Newt Gingrich, as always, thank you for your wisdom. We appreciate it very much.